As soon as you say yes, Nirav, I mean, that's his plan.
That's literally all I'm waiting on is your permission, Nirav.
Did you guys actually set a date or anything? I don't remember.
No, it's hesitantly 2022.
Wow, that's so far, dude.
Hey, it's what you got to do in this day and age.
Yeah,
I mean, we
that's
actually
fair.
moved our reception.
To next year.
Yeah.
That's a good plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually thinking about doing it early and just doing like a reception, like a year or two from now.
Yeah.
Mm,
We discovered really quick that things cost a lot of money.
They do.
yep, they do.
So does just like the
Yep.
permit and stuff cost a lot of money?
Oh no, they actually getting married is only about $100.
Well, it depends on the state.
Yeah.
North Carolina, it's $60 for the license, $50 for the magistrate to perform the ceremony.
And 10
like
for the
a-
certificate.
$100, just over $100 total to get married at the courthouse.
Okay, that's not bad.
I
See, that
made
sounds
so
doable.
many Phoenix Wright jokes in the courthouse, did I not, Tim?
You did.
Look, we were in a courtroom. I had to slam the
We
desk
were
and yell
under
objection.
oath. That's all I could do.
I had to slam the desk and yell objection.
Did you object to your
When we
own
brought the
wedding?
parrot in as a witness, that was the weird part. But, I mean, getting the orca, that was some doing, but worth it.
Nice.
No, so
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Elizabeth's twin sister was one of our witnesses, and so I kept handing her like the paperwork that I had with us and claiming it was the updated autopsy report for Mr. Edgeworth.
Was this like in front of the judge, like he could hear you and stuff? Or
Probably.
Okay.
He
That's
totally could hear us.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So, everyone, please look around you. You see how everything's sort of distorted when it gets more than 5 feet away, and then it sort of fades into white nothingness.
Oh, we're in the original Silent Hill?
That's right. The original Silent Hill is where I'm hosting this podcast.
Nice!
Ooh.
The world just kind
As
of
long as Pyramid Head isn't here.
No, he's not here for another game. We should be good.
Yeah, he shows up later. He's a good guy. I've had lunch with him.
Good. When I was a kid, I was so scared of Pyramid Head.
I mean, like,
you
I
should
was
be.
too. Like, I think everybody should have been, yeah. Alright, everyone, welcome to GameBusters. We're a podcast from GameLuster.com. My name's Nirav, and I'm your host today. I am joined here by my lovely co-hosts, and this time I've written down the order. Let's see how that goes.
You first.
Oh, hi,
Oh
I'm
my
Kate.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Kyle.
We did it. Alright,
Sorry.
yeah, welcome everyone. So we're gonna jump right into it because we've got a lot to cover on our Bustums today. So we're gonna is our opening segment Parks or Rec. Everyone, we're gonna go around and you can either tell me about a nice visit to a park you had, or just recommend something. Either one of those things is fine. That's nice. It's just a nice thing to do.
Oh,
Okay.
you did a theme specifically so we couldn't use this time ranting about what we did yesterday.
I would
Uh,
recommend a courthouse wedding.
Yes, I do want to throw a quick
Kate and I
shout out.
just...
Yeah, it'd be bad to not do that. I would definitely like to throw a quick shout out to Kate and Tim here for getting married yesterday. What?
Yeah.
Woo!
Also, I think Kate's birthday is tomorrow. Is that right, or is it today?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just having a real lit weekend.
Right.
It's gonna make remembering our anniversary really easy.
Exactly. I mean, you can just come back to this podcast and there it is.
Yeah.
When
Anyway,
when it's
Parks
etched
or
into
Rec?
the eternal stone of time. Yeah, Kate, why don't you kick us off?
Parks or Rec? Well, I will talk about a visit to a park. So last Christmas, I went up to Virginia to Busch Gardens Christmas Town, and I thought it was going to be the cheesiest thing ever, but it was like the cheesiest thing ever in the best way. It was like there were all these people walking around in like old like medieval dresses and stuff, like greeting me, and like there were like 10 different Santas, and you know what? Just embrace the cheese. 2020 is a year from hell. Embrace the cheese. So that was my favorite park visit I've ever had.
Okay, the year of many Santas. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, what about you?
I'm gonna do. I guess it counts as a park, a water park. Similarly, this February, Kate and I were feeling a bit of ennui, wanted some fun and sun. So we went to a place called the Great Wolf Lodge, which is super chintzy, but it has a great indoor water park. that goes with your hotel reservation. So, yeah. Like, we got a one-night stay and basically spent the entire time in the water park until it closed down. And then they found us and kicked us out and made us go to our hotel room.
That was
But
nice.
then we
yeah.
stayed up super late playing VR.
Yes.
So they had VR games in the hotel.
Well,
Whoa,
AR
what?
games,
What
but
hotel
yes.
was this?
Augmented reality, not virtual reality. To be
Oh, sorry.
super precise.
Okay.
No, they also had VR games. We just didn't play any of those.
Yeah.
We did the AR one.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be, they had an augmented reality game where you run all over the hotel doing these very simple, silly quests, and it was fun.
That actually sounds extremely fun.
Casting spells, fighting dragons.
Okay, that's cool. Where was that again?
It is in Charlotte.
Yeah,
Nice.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, Kyle, how about you?
Okay, mine's more of like a general thing, but I recently got my fishing pole from my parents' house. It's been like, I guess it's coming up on like a decade since I've gone fishing, but started fishing a little bit, and it's pretty nice just getting to turn your brain off for a little bit, possibly have a beer or two while while out there. But I don't know. I don't even have to catch anything. It's just nice to not have to think about any of the crazy shit going on this year.
That's fair. And you know what? The fish don't know about any of this, so it's good to kind of hang out with them.
Just stick your head right in and start talking. They'll understand.
I want to throw out a quick.
I mean, is there a different way to go fishing?
Oh, with Stardew Valley. That's I think the big one. Although I have to say Stardew Valley is maybe my least favorite like fishing minigame.
Oh yeah,
I
it's hard.
actually hated the fishing in Final Fantasy 15 more than the fishing in Stardew
Oh, yeah, that's
Valley.
fair. I completely forgot that had fishing. And sorry, that Final Fantasy 15 had an entire fishing DLC.
It had a separate game that was just fishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
It wasn't a fishing DLC. It was fishing that was part of DLC, and then the separate Final Fantasy 15 fishing.
Yep. Wasn't it like VR, like fishing with Noctis
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever?
it was a VR fishing game.
VR Fishing with Noctis was my game of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to my quick recommendation for everybody is that yesterday The Legend of Korra went up on Netflix. If you have not gotten to that yet and have watched Avatar, get on that. It's great. Like personally,
Don't
thing.
expect the highs of Avatar,
Yes.
but it's still pretty good.
it is consistently pretty great. Season 2 dips a little bit, but like it really picks back up in 3 and 4, and it tells like a totally different kind of story. Also, the Netflix version is surprisingly remastered audio and video too, and it's upscaled to
Ooh.
1080p. So it's nicer than the one you saw on TV for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
I actually just watched the first episode yesterday, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty interested in keeping on going.
Hey, all right, nice. See, I'm really excited for people who haven't seen it before to get into it now. It's a great show, and honestly, like the Bhopal ship gives me oxygen. Okay, so let's move on into our Hall of Fameluster. Everyone, please come with me. I'm gonna just pull aside the velvet rope here. All right, come on in. Don't look directly at the paparazzi, please. Don't
Oh, what if I already did?
don't look directly at them, please.
Oh no, I am staring them down.
Okay.
I'm going to make them blink.
Okay.
Okay, they blinked.
Okay, we made it in. So again, the Hall of Fameluster is still under construction. I really was thinking when I started this bit that like I was gonna maybe make it, but maybe it better exists as just a concept, and I can keep talking about it being under construction.
I mean, the wall that's constantly on fire. I wasn't sure if that was intentional or just an art piece.
It's art, and yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I mean now. Well, okay. It is destroying the museum, but it is also part of the art.
Yeah.
And
So-
when does GLaDOS take it over? When does she take over all our security cameras and steal all our exhibits?
I have hired her to start work next week.
Awesome.
And I'm pretty certain that if anyone comes in here, they're never gonna get out. At least, so that's one nice thing.
Welcome to the Aperture Fame Testing Initiative.
How
You're
famous
here
are you?
forever.
You're here until you can get famous.
Yeah, exactly.
So today in the Hall of Fameluster, we're going to be inducting a game for the dumbest betrayal. I think the keyword here is dumbest, as in, man, this was either like a stupid decision for this person to make a betrayal, maybe it was very, very, very obvious the whole time, etc., etc. Let's see. Tim, why don't you start us off?
Okay, well, I mean, I could go with any number of them from actually including the series that I'm pulling from, but I'm going to go with 2 possible betrayals that you as the player can pull off in Ultima 6 and Ultima 7 Part 1. So, for some reason, the Ultima series, in the later half of it, you play as the avatar of the virtues of goodness. And yet, for some reason, in the 6th and 7th installments of the series, the creators decided to give you a spell called Armageddon, which, if you decide to cast it, kills literally everyone on the planet except for you and like 3 other people.
Huh.
And there's literally nothing stopping you, and those 3 other people who don't die will tell you, well, now you've done a stupid thing. I guess you solved the problem, but god damn it, why? You've doomed us all. Good job, hero. You broke it.
Better start reproducing.
Yeah. Oh, need I mention, unless you choose a female character, all the other people who survive are either male or dead. The dead person is undead, specifically.
Ah, okay. Is there any end game benefit to that, or is it just kind of that's the end?
That's literally the end.
Interesting.
It's there so you learn not to do it.
Okay, that's pretty dumb. I'll take that one. Kate, what about you?
I would like to bring Tales of the Abyss. So, one of the frustrations of playing Tales of the Abyss is that your protagonist starts out the game as an absolute stuck-up dumbass. He's this kind of sheltered nobleman who really hasn't been outside his home and is super dependent on his really sketchy sword instructor, Van.
He's literally never been outside his home.
Now, every single other character in the party immediately can tell that Van is suspicious, that Van is up to no good, that Van is going to betray you.
Including his sister.
Yes. All 5 other party members, plus even the cute little animal mascot, say, this guy's going to betray you. You as the player are 100% sure that this guy's going to betray you. But Luc Fonfabra has his head so far up his ass that he trusts this idiot so far that the inevitable betrayal happens and an entire floating continent falls on top of another continent. That's just dumb. And you can do nothing to stop it despite every single character warning you.
Okay, is that just part of the story, or do you have any choices in that?
Oh, no choice. It's part of the story.
Interesting. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Kyle, what you got?
Okay, well, my main thing when it comes to betrayals is I hate when you can see that it's coming, and I hate when it seems like someone's betraying someone just so that the story has a betrayal in it. Yeah. And it's going to seem like recency bias, but I felt like in Dishonored, that was like one of the big things.
the fucking Havelock and them at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, by the second mission, I was like, okay, these people are 100% going to betray me at some point. and especially with the Lord Regent mission being the 4th mission in the game, I was like, this game's way too short. Yeah. There's no way they are not going to betray me after this, and sure enough, I'm 5 minutes back from that mission and they poison me.
Honestly, like, when that happened, like, and the betrayal thing happened, like, of course I was expecting it, but, like, at first I thought that, like, Sam, like, the boatman, had also betrayed me, and it, like, broke my fucking heart. I was like, I loved you, man. And then you find out that he actually, like, he actually is the one who, like, let you live, like, through the poisoning and, like, helps you escape.
Thanks, Sam.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, Sam's a genuinely cool dude.
No, that's a good one, because it is extremely obvious from, like, the second mission that, like, the people you're working for are going to betray you and throw you under the bus. That's a solid one. All right. I am if anyone is completely, like, 100% not wanting to be, I don't even consider this a spoiler for Persona 5, but if you really want to be completely blind about it, you can skip a few minutes here. This I cannot even consider this a spoiler. I think that Akechi betraying you in Persona 5 is maybe the most obvious betrayal I've ever seen. Everybody in the group is like, I don't know, I don't like this guy very much. He spends about 4/5 of the game trying to actively destroy you, and then in the last dungeon he joins your party, and everyone's like, I don't know about this guy, it seems like he might betray us, and then at the end of that dungeon he does betray you, and he just sort of dies, and like nothing really comes of it, and it's just like it's I don't know, honestly, like, first of all, I have to say I get viscerally upset when I see promo art of the Phantom Thieves and Akechi is like included in there. I'm like, no sir, you're not part of the group. But it's just like so dumb because the reason that this is, I think, so dumb is because the start of Persona 5, the very first thing that happens is like it's like a, in media res thing, like they catch you in the middle of the action at the end of the game, like Joker gets arrested by the police and they're like, your partner sold you out, and you're like, oh my god, which one of my partners is going to sell me out? Like, I love all of my friends so much, and it turns out it's the one who everyone knew was going to betray you. Like, it's not any of your actual friends that actually sell you out.
Yeah.
It's just this guy who actively hates you. Anyway, I gotta submit that one. Alright, so does anyone have any last words before we do our votes?
I mean, you did the dumbest betrayal, and I think every other one here has to happen, even the most blindingly obvious one, like, Luke walking into the trap after literally everybody and their sister said not to. But I think you doing the betrayal makes it the dumbest ever.
These are all pretty dumb.
That's pretty dumb, yeah.
We got some real dumb ones this time.
we got some dumbos in this one.
Oh yeah.
I will say, not to discredit you, Kyle, because I think I've made it clear that Dishonored games are like my favorite series of games. But I think that even though it is a dumb and obvious betrayal, it still makes for a good story in Dishonored. Like,
and you can sort of see why Corvo doesn't see it coming, because he's so laser focused on his daughter.
Yeah. That's the only thing I'd say about that.
I mean, that's where the recency bias comes in, because I did just play that. Yeah.
Another dumb betrayal is going to come at you real quick in Dishonored 2. Just pretty much everybody in that one. I don't know. Kay, you're very passionate about Tales of the Abyss. I'm considering.
I'm very passionate about everything I talk about.
That's fair.
Also, I was really torn between bringing Tales of the Abyss or bringing Wheatley from Portal 2.
Yeah, that one is like, I think that one is a little less obvious until maybe halfway through the game it starts to become obvious, that Wheatley is going to betray you. But I can definitely see that one.
Oh, I'm not saying it's obvious, I'm saying it's dumb because of how the game handles it with the whole, this is the part where I kill you, and then the music track shifts to the part where he kills you, and then you get an achievement unlocked, the part where he kills you.
Classic.
It's
Also,
the part where he kills you all the way down.
Quick shout out to the last boss fight of Portal 2. It's so fucking cool, dude. If you haven't played it, I don't want to ruin it.
Right.
It's so,
that crow.
it feels so cool at the end.
You have to take control of GLaDOS and the potato and fight the crow. No, I'm completely lying.
You get inside the potato this time.
Yeah.
You are the potato.
All right, let's do the votes then. Kyle, where are your votes going? You have 2 votes, and you can put them anywhere, including your own or not, depending. Whatever you want.
Okay. Well, since I am also biased to myself, I'm going to put 1 vote to myself. And then I'm going to put my second one to casting Armageddon, because that does seem pretty dumb.
Yeah.
It even describes itself as will kill all life.
That's the description
when you
of
first
the spell?
Yes. Hold on, let me see if I can find the description of... Because I know when you get it, the guy who hands it to you says, yes, this will enable the cessation of all life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good out if you're tired of playing the game.
I guess it is.
You want to move on. See,
I mean, I'm done. The thing is, every other game also has that, and it's like the power button. All right.
I think I got you there,
but with that one, you're just betraying yourself.
That's true.
Yes.
Kate, where are your votes going?
I'm putting one on myself and one on good old Goro Akechi.
Excellent. Okay, Tim, where are you going?
One on Armageddon and one on Luke von Fob of being a dingus McWingus.
A Dingus McWingus, interesting.
Yes.
I am gonna give one to myself, but I think I am gonna also on Persona 5, but I am gonna throw the other one onto the Armageddon thing. I think you sold me on it. That does leave us with casting Armageddon in Ultima 6 and 7. You can do that in both of them. Sorry. Both
Yes.
Of these games?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
You can just buy the spell from somebody in Ultima 7, by the way. In Ultima 7 Part 2, they finally took the spell out. But it actually makes a return in Ultima 9 where you actually have to cast it to win the game. But Ultima 9 is an exceptionally dumb game and might count as its own betrayal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are these good games?
Ultima 1 through 8? Yeah.
Okay.
Ultima 9 is not.
All right. Well, congrats to Ultima. You've made it into the Hall of Fame, Luster. You can stand right behind the firewall.
Yes. Well, don't worry. Lord British is immune to all damage unless you've got a glass sword, so he's just fine standing there.
Yes. References.
Richard Garriott, who's the man who created it, has a self-insert named Lord British. He's basically your quest giver. And he knew that people were going to try and kill him, so he made himself literally invulnerable.
Oh, I would too. I mean, like, if you were wandering around, like, fucking Fallout and you found Todd Howard, like, I wouldn't expect to be able to kill him.
Except you still can, is the thing. There are ways, and
toggle Todd mode. Yeah. Open up the console.
Oh no,
I
not
don't
even
think
console.
I would be able to kill Todd Howard, but dang it, I would try. In game. I have no real desire to kill Todd Howard.
Yeah, if this is being played in a courtroom right now, we have no desire to kill Todd Howard. We love him on this show. If any harm has befallen him, I swear it was Phil Spencer.
If any harm has befallen Phil Spencer, it was Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Now that we've covered our bases, let's continue.
All right, let's get into the meat of this. So we got a big boy today. Welcome to Bustums. Everyone, please bring out the ceremonial hammer. And grab your copy of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Yes!
Okay.
Mine is digital, so I guess I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'm grabbing my desktop right now.
Yep.
Well, I've got here. You can have all 7 of the books here, and I've got my Geralt in a Bath figurine, and my official strategy guide, and my Toss a Coin T-shirt, and my T-shirt that just says and you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is an elaborate
sort of
display right around where Kate is right now.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that you have enough stuff, I guess, for all of us. So we're going to be talking today about The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt by CD Projekt Red. Came out in 2015. So just to run through a little... Actually, I don't know, maybe Kate is better equipped to do this, but through a little history of the Witcher series. What year was the first book published? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh gosh, I don't
The first
even know
short story
that.
was 1986, I think.
Yeah, it was a bit ago.
So basically, the author, who's Polish, wrote 2 short story collections and a 5-book series, and by the end of the series was so sick of writing about Geralt that he did the whole Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes thing and killed off his hero. And a couple years later, a bunch of fans were like, hey, we don't like this, we want to bring him back to life, and the games happened.
I mean, technically, he killed him off with a way to bring him back, but he was just like, I am done with this for now.
Yeah. He had a very similar to Arthur Conan Doyle kind of, I do not want to write about this character ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Witcher franchise is pretty big now, and I mean, I think we can all agree that that's due to the games. Like, it was,
Yes.
within the world of... Within the world of Polish fiction, yeah, the Witcher books actually were pretty huge on their own, but that's a small world.
There were, even before the video games, not only were there several reprintings, but there were comic book adaptations in Polish.
Right. Did the BBC get this one too? Did they ever try it? It seems like they
No.
might have.
No, but there was a television series. There was a television series in
We're not talking
Poland.
about the Hexer. We're not talking about
Actually,
the Hexer.
I completely forgot about the television series. Please just tell me a little bit about that quickly.
Which
It's
one?
called
Hexer?
the Hexer,
Yeah, the Hexer, like the old
Okay.
Polish one, yeah.
Yeah.
and it's not good.
The special effects
mostly-
are,
mostly the lead actor's wig is very, very distinctively a crappy wig.
Yeah. Also, there, Jaskier. Granted, he's a good singer, but he's an older fellow.
Yes, the weird old man.
Yeah.
My
But
favorite
they do a very
character.
good job of showing Geralt and Jaskier being super best bros.
Unlike Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah, that'll lead us in here just to like kind of ease people in. So Kyle, you've seen the Netflix show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
well-
seen the Netflix show. I've played The Witcher 3. That's
Okay.
pretty much the
No,
extent.
Sorry,
for
I'm
me.
I'm the local Witcher expert.
Yeah. So
Sorry about
well, that's
that.
why I want to ask you, Kyle. Like, what were your thoughts on the Netflix show?
Okay, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. There's definitely places that they can improve on the show. Like personally, I would give it maybe like a 6.5. Like it was slightly above average for me, but not good. It's not something where I would go out of my way to pick that show over like another show.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I still liked it. Like it was still watchable, but it just wasn't. It wasn't there yet for me. Which I feel like it can improve with further seasons, but
I think it absolutely will when they start focusing on Geralt and Ciri.
Yeah.
As a father-daughter
They have
pair.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, definitely.
They have a great relationship, and I think also the timeline bouncing thing wasn't great in the first season.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
them just sort of, or at least even just like labeling what year it is would have been great.
It seemed like it was just more of a prologue than a season 1 to me.
Which almost is more true to the style of the books, because the first 2 books are sort of just a disparate collection of short stories, actually.
Which I
Yeah.
think are very difficult. I think they struggled adapting that because, yeah, the short stories are kind of all over the place time-wise. They're very different tone. Like, some of them are straight up, like, the author kind of making his own pastiche of fairy tales. Some of them are outright humorous.
Yeah. And
Some of them are dark. So I think once they get into the saga proper, the 5-book saga, I believe, which will start next season, I believe they'll have a more consistent story to tell, and it won't have the same amount of tonal whiplash as we saw.
Yeah.
they also reordered events, and the short stories take place over the course of about 20 years, I think. And they all happen a lot quicker, or at least apparently a lot quicker in the show. But one of the biggest changes is that the Butcher of Blaviken is not is not one of the first stories.
Yeah,
Right.
which is the nickname he gets when he slaughters an entire town for
Yeah.
a good reason.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, you kill a whole town, you get a nickname.
Yeah, but the
that's
show
one
has
of the
that happen in the very first episode, and that kind of reputation haunts him, which makes him this much more serious, grimmer character than the Geralt of the books, who is a straight-up funny guy.
Yeah, Geralt in the books. I have not read all of them, but I've read a little. And Geralt, well, he's not like super like yuck. He's got a wry sense of humor. Yeah,
But we're mostly here to talk about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this is just sort of trying to ease us into this. So, let's talk about the game a little bit. So, firstly, just a description, I guess, to anyone who hasn't played it. The Witcher 3 is pretty broadly, it's an open world action adventure RPG. There are some branching like storyline things going on. There's a lot of I think that a lot of the reputation that it gets is because the Witcher 3 has some really well-written and interesting side quests that the problem a lot of open world games suffer is you kind of like doing the same like go here, kill this, and come back side quests. And while The Witcher definitely has some of that, like it largely manages to make things more interesting.
I mean, even the stuff where it's go here, kill a thing, you usually figure out some story about the person who's asking you to do it or the thing that you're maybe killing along the way. And you don't always have to kill the thing you're told to kill.
Yeah,
and a lot of the side quests will have twists to them. Like, you'll find out that a monster was more sympathetic, that, like, a beast was actually, like, a shapeshifter, or, human... There's a whole lot of humans are the real monsters, very, very much.
That's a very, very much recurring theme in this game.
I think the anyone can be a dick. Being a monster doesn't make you a monster.
Right.
I think would be, Because there are some monsters who are monsters, and then there's some monsters who are like, look, I just want to live my life and fuck these dudes.
Yeah, just like
I like
werewolfing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the okay, so I guess I want to kind of talk about this game is one of those where I think its reputation really precedes it. Everybody, anyone who plays video games has been recommended to play The Witcher 3. So like, why do you think that is? Like, I mean, among RPG fans, this is considered one of the greats. Why do you think that is? Like, what is it about it that's so special?
I mean, at basically a fractal level, there's some good story and some good, like, fun, engaging moment. Whether or not you want to actually play the actual game or not. You can just run around, look at stuff, play Gwent, play more Gwent, keep playing Gwent.
Kyle, how much Gwent did you play?
I played it a little bit more in the beginning, and then I realized, wow, I really suck at this game.
See,
and I sort of lost interest in it, but at the same time, I still had fun every single time I played it.
I am
We
honestly
totally played only a little bit of Gwent.
just a tiny bit.
actually,
Just enough
Okay,
to get
fine.
every Gwent-based achievement.
including the one called "You Have a Gwent Problem."
I 100% believe that nobody can actually be good at Gwent. It just is whatever the Witcher gods are feeling that day.
No, Kate can be good at Gwent. Kate is good at Gwent.
Yeah,
Kate is
I
the
actually.
Gwent Whisperer.
So, for those of you who aren't as familiar, Gwent is an in-game card game with collectible cards based on the characters themselves. It is a pretty huge gotta collect them all side quest with I think something about like 150 cards in the base game and more in the
151,
DLC.
you forgot Mew.
I did forget me. 151, and even more in the DLC. It spun off into a game of its own. It
With
was
even
that
more
popular.
Yeah,
and
is that
I do
Thronebreaker?
play that. No, just Gwent.
Oh,
so
there's just its own
Thronebreaker.
Gwent game. Yeah.
There's just Gwent the Witcher card game, which is now available on Steam for free, and it's fun. Play it. I'm really good at it.
I
Don't
think-
play me. I'll
Isn't
beat
that on
you.
mobile too? The
Yes.
Gwent? Yeah.
Play it, but don't play against me, because I will win.
Just hold while I quickly download this.
Yeah. And then there's another. Yeah, I guess I'll also mention that there is another game called Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. Is that what it's called? Something
Yeah.
like that?
Yes.
Which is kind of like a storybook thing where the gameplay is basically just Gwent. But I've heard it's quite good if you enjoy Gwent.
It is inspired by a section of the books that tells the story of how Geralt got the title of Geralt of Rivia, like
Oh,
how
okay.
he became knighted.
How he became
as Geralt of
Geraldo.
Rivia. He's not Geraldo.
He claimed his title.
That's
So
Jerry
He went
Rivers.
onto daytime television, defeated the host in open combat, and that's how he became Geraldo of Rivera.
So so I guess from each of you, do you guys really do you feel like this game deserves like the title of being like one of the all-time greats just in video games? Like if you go on Reddit and you look, if somebody asks like I would like games similar to Factorio, half of the answers are going to be The Witcher 3. Like that's I mean that's just like the truth. What do you feel like it deserves all this all this like heaping praise it keeps getting?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Game
definitely.
good. I mean,
Yeah,
we played it
game
for
good.
176 hours and didn't
God.
get bored of it.
Yeah. I mean, like Tim and I just played it this year after actually like getting into the series through the Netflix series, and I definitely felt like, oh my god, this is amazing. Why haven't I played this before? Like, I'm loving it. This is what I've been missing out on. I don't think it quite surpasses Breath of the Wild for me as my top favorite game, but it's highly up there. But then again, I'm also someone who loves open world games too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're currently
So,
playing
I'm-
Goat Simulator Sushi.
I'm incredibly
That
biased.
just
Like,
for
there
reference, that's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, like I said, Goat Simulator
there are
Sushi.
gamers out there, and Witcher 3 will not be their kind of game, but for me, it is.
Yeah,
and
for people who like open world games, unless you want to negate fall damage,
Yeah.
there's a mod for that.
No, there's a mod for that.
Yeah.
I had a mod
There's
for
a
that.
mod
Yeah.
for that.
But yeah,
But like, we played it in 2020, 5 years after it first came out, and it still holds up.
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe that when it came out, I think that I heard that I'm pretty sure it broke the record for the most Game of the Year awards, like of any game in
Correct.
history.
250.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I don't know if Breath of the Wild beat that or not. Can't remember.
No, it did not. Witcher 3 still has it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a big deal. Like I don't know. Like do you think that this is there a place in this game for people who are not super into the idea of like a hardcore RPG, people who want a more casual experience?
I mean, you can change the difficulty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can make it as easy as the game allows, at least. I'm sure there's mods to probably even make it easier than that.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, okay, so personally, I played it on PC, and I did mod it up a little bit. Mostly just quality of life things, but there was... I will
How
tell
many
you
naked girls were there?
Just the ones that were already in there.
Okay.
which is still plenty, but...
Yeah.
Oh god, let's no love triangle debate on this podcast.
No.
Let's keep it civil, boys.
I get enough of that in FF7. We're not going to talk about
Right,
that.
yeah. Like, I mean,
everyone knows
we all know
Gerald's one
we
true
all should
love
pick
is his
Triss.
horse.
We all
His
picked
one
Triss.
true love is his horse.
No, we
Roach.
picked Yen.
Interesting.
I picked both.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
Oh, poor Kyle. Oh no.
You can pick both and then not end up with anybody.
not end up with
Yeah.
either of
You
them. I
were
forgot
just
about that.
handcuffed to the bed.
Well, I wanted to be with Roach at the end, so I figured I'd push both of them away.
Roach the horse is Geralt's one true love.
That's
Let's
true.
be completely honest
I
here.
do love Roach. I love how she flies away sometimes on top of roofs.
She breaks physics. Physics
Yeah.
says no to Roach.
So yeah, let's like talk about the story a little bit. So how Kate, like having spent so much time with my friend Geralt, how would you describe him in a sentence or two? The main character of this story.
Okay, well, if I take out any descriptors related to how attractive I find him,
Mhm.
I would say a troubled monster hunter who has found something to fight for in the form of his found family.
That's a great description. Yeah, like Geralt, I think is he's a troubled hero who definitely has some. I don't know if I'd call him an anti-hero really. I don't know, but
No, he's not an anti-hero. He's not a traditional hero, but he is absolutely in the heroic mold.
yeah,
And that he tries to do
He
good.
lacks a lot of faith in humanity because of how crappily he's been treated for being a visibly mutated Witcher.
yes. I guess we should also.
Which
if you
I don't get it.
So what is he is an X-Man.
He's an thank
He
you
has-
exactly.
He
He's an
got
X-Man.
really attractive white hair and yellow eyes, and people call him a mutant and a freak, but he's gorgeous!
That happened
Yeah,
to Rogue
him and Jean
also.
Grey.
Okay. But so just for reference real quickly, a Witcher is basically in this universe a monster hunter. They've gone through a mutation process as a kid called the Trials of the Grasses, and they gain some fun powers, and their bodies change a little bit. So they, like, I mean, at a passing glance, they are human, but like taking a closer look at their face, they're not.
Yeah.
And
And
so-
Geralt is the most mutated of them all.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean
his hair bleached out, his eyes are yellow and cat-like.
Yeah, and now I will say, just for reference, that didn't really translate over into the game as much. They've made him a lot more human-looking in the game, if I remember. than
Yeah.
he's
Well, the thing
described.
is,
Oh, okay.
he still looks pretty human most of the time in the series. It's when he takes his potions and decoctions that he really starts looking freaky.
Because one of the things that they mutate you when you become a Witcher is you get the ability to ingest various poisons and toxins without dying. So he essentially, the fighting style of Geralt is essentially poisoning himself with various decoctions drawn from various mystical creatures to enhance his abilities, which cause his eyes to go full black and like veins to start standing out, and he starts looking really freaky.
Yeah, if you go like full bore, he gets black lines all over his face.
Yeah,
And there you get a lot of like he looks distinctly other.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
say.
so
Because
Okay, so
also
y'all are
people
telling me
are
that's
just
not
weirded-
normal.
People are just weirded out by the
I
fact
mean,
that this guy fights
I don't know
by
how many-
poisoning himself.
how many
Yeah.
decoctions are you drinking, Kyle?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the week.
Yeah. do you have a cold frosty basilisk right by that you're sipping on right now?
Maybe.
There's no way to know for sure. So like the other characters, I think, are also pretty interesting. I will say that like, I think this game, I have seen this game sort of get accused of like sort of like catering to the quote unquote male fantasy a lot, and like, I think there's some substance to that, but I also will say that like all of the main female characters in this are very like fleshed out and three-dimensional and extremely well written.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, essentially, the secondary protagonist, which is his adopted daughter Ciri, is, while not quite the main character, she is playable at points.
Yeah.
And is an openly queer woman.
Yeah, hella gay.
Yeah.
Incredibly gay.
Super bi. You have the option to hit on people in those segments.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
all
men
of
and
the ones
women
you
both.
can, yeah. You can actually hit on a brother and a sister like within minutes of each other. It's fun.
And
That-
both of them are
that is fun.
attracted to Ciri.
Yeah.
Also, remember everyone keep an eye out because Ciri is going to be in Cyberpunk 2077 somewhere.
She's
I
already
love-
there.
I thought CG Projekt Red very, very outrightly stated that Ciri is not going to be in Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm pretty sure they said that they're gonna have a reference to her. I don't know if she'll like physically be there, but there will be references to her.
I think what the reference is that they're going to have her in an antique copy of a gaming magazine that's talking about The Witcher 3, and she's
What?
gonna be
Oh
on
my
the
god!
cover.
What if the magazine talks about The Witcher 4? And that's how they reveal it.
Oh my god.
That would be genius marketing.
Oh yeah, no, I would
Then
love
CD
for Witcher 4
Projekt
to be about Ciri.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's.
Oh yeah.
Well, CD Projekt Red has also said that Geralt's story is done, so any
Yeah.
Witcher games will be about something else, and I think it's pretty obvious that maybe even in a few years from now, like an adult, like fully grown up Ciri would be a
Yeah.
good place to go.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she's already fully grown up.
Yeah,
She's
I
like
guess that's
26
true.
in Witcher 3.
But
That's
if
fair.
they use this game to reveal Witcher 4, that was the best marketing move. Biggest
Oh, yeah.
power move.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
they already
Big
did
sword
that with
energy.
Witcher 3 to reveal Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so there
true.
is actually a little Easter egg where Ciri has the ability to travel between worlds and dimensions, and she's describing to Geralt various worlds that she's been to, and one of them is the world of Cyberpunk.
Yeah. It's so cool. I'm excited for Cyberpunk.
And that was put in the game before they had even announced that they were making Cyberpunk.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the gameplay a little bit because as much as this game is like super loved by everyone, I do love it. It's not really one of my all-time favorites because like I kind of just really didn't enjoy the minute-to-minute gameplay of the combat. I think, and I mean I've heard other people have similar things to say, but real quickly, like the way that you fight essentially is with your sword most of the time. There's dodging swords. Sorry, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
come
good
on.
point.
Steel
Geralt-
for men, silver for monsters.
Yes, Geralt does carry two swords, which I always am like, couldn't the silver one also kill people? But then everyone says
It could.
Shh.
No, it could, but you don't want to waste it on it because silver is actually pretty weak. So you don't want to waste it on
Oh, it's like a
people who
weak
die.
metal. I see. I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's a soft metal.
Okay,
compared to steel.
that's fair. Yeah, so a lot of the game is there's some like dodging and timing your dodges to it, but a lot of the combat is I think really more of like just kind of like whacking away and doing a fast attack and a heavy attack. I think the interesting part of the combat for most people comes from having to use the oils and things like that and decoctions and
Yeah.
potions.
Yeah.
Because I would say, like, I disagree with you. The combat in The Witcher 3, I would say, is about planning. Every single type of monster and enemy you fight have various weaknesses, various oils, various spells. It's about figuring out what you're fighting and planning for it. And if you're properly planned and kitted out for the fight, yes, it's fairly simple, but that's the point.
Right.
Well, in a couple exceptions, but those are like the final boss and the other final
Yeah.
boss.
Like it is very much like an RPG, like a traditional even turn-based RPG in that way. Like it's the fight is more about like preparing for the fight beforehand and then like watching your plan go well.
Yeah.
Which I think is great for some people. I will say I'm a little like I don't think this kind of thing is for me because my favorite combat is like platinum stuff like Bayonetta and like Astral Chain and stuff. So this
Yeah,
is
and that's fair.
yeah. But yeah, so tell me a little bit more about like why like what is exciting about the gameplay to you?
I mean, as somebody who also loves platinum combat, the difference is that platinum is very much about the last minute reaction, whereas Geralt he's very down there. He's very blatant. You can dodge from stuff, but you don't get those iframes. You actually have to know where to when and where to blink out,
Yeah.
to roll away, and to your timing. Like, despite being like Platinum over the top and Geralt being very grounded comparatively combat wise, they have very similar, like, your like anticipation and timing gets very much rewarded in both of those game styles. So
And
being
I
able
would
to
say
do
that,
go ahead. Oh,
I would say that
Incredible. You guys are gonna have a very happy marriage.
Go ahead.
Witcher 3 is fully a single player game, but Tim and I were able to have a really fun experience playing it together because the focus on planning in combat made me able to participate in a way where I wasn't just watching over his shoulder as I have for other games. I was the one making lists of all the monster weaknesses. I was keeping track of what herbs we needed to make which decoctions and making sure our stocks of different bombs weren't too low. I felt like I could participate as a second player in a single player game by being like the planner.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I will also throw out, if you're like me and are not really a fan of having to craft potions and stuff, at like lower difficulty levels, especially at easy, you don't have to do any of that. So like you can skip over a lot of the alchemy stuff if you'd like. And I mean,
Infamously, Henry Cavill, who plays Geralt in the Netflix adaptation, has admitted that he skips over all of that. So if you do that, you're playing
you're
like
just
Geralt.
like Superman.
Yeah.
See, if you're like me, I'm more used to playing like Soulsborne games, so I just dodge and attack, and that's pretty much all that I do.
That was me for a little bit
Just
when we
keep rolling.
didn't have any of the decoction or the potions and the oils.
But once we had them, I was keeping track and being like, nope, we're fighting this, we need that, now switch to that, and monitor your toxicity level so you don't kill yourself.
See, I just like to make it more difficult for myself, and that really did increase the playing time.
It is a little
This
bit.
time we're gonna ask you to wear these heavy weights around your wrists and wear this helmet that's gonna blare annoying things at you. Have you ever heard of Harrison Bergeron? Anyways, enough about that.
Everyone put on your Rock Lee ankle weights. We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I guess the point I want to make here is that like there's a lot of different ways to play this game, and we didn't even talk about the spells. You get it's interesting because it's similar to Breath of the Wild in that you get all your spells right at the beginning of the game and you just kind of upgrade them. You don't get new spells as you go.
Yeah.
So like there's Ard, Axii, Igni,
Ciri,
and
Irden and Quen.
Irden.
Yeah, there's 5.
So the Quen, is it Quen or is it Ken?
Quen.
It's Quen. So Quen like is my favorite because like I just upgraded to the exploding shield immediately and just you spam the exploding shield. Nobody can touch you. You're invincible.
Quen is very useful. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, definitely.
I quite enjoy it, but there's a lot of more strategic things I could have done. And
in Blood and Wine, you can upgrade it so Ard freezes enemies.
Oh yeah, that
That's
was
fun.
fun.
Ooh, that's good. That's you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into that because I want to give a shout out to Blood and Wine, which I will say like absolutely I think is on all accounts better than the base game. It is a gigantic...
I think CD Projekt Red would agree with you.
Yeah, it's.
I think Geralt would agree with
Geralt
you.
would agree
Yeah,
too.
Geralt definitely agrees with you.
I played The Witcher 3 originally, like the base game. Now, for anyone else who's tried it out there and like stopped after a few hours and was like, I didn't. It took me like 4 tries of restarting The Witcher 3 for me to like get it.
Yeah, 3 tries for me.
Just one for us.
Yeah.
But I think it's a somewhat common thing where people are like, oh, I tried it a few times and had to keep restarting it, and like there was one time I stuck with it, and then like after a few hours it just like clicked, and I was like, this is okay, I get it. I would encourage anybody who's like tried it out and was like, this is like I don't really get it. Like, give it a few hours and start doing some side quests. Honestly, like you'll figure it out. It's
Yeah.
The main thing that helped me was my first couple tries, and I don't even know what it was that stopped me from it, but like the second I finished the prologue, I like got distracted by something else. But then I read something online that said in the prologue you need to do literally every single side quest. And so I tried doing it that way, and for some reason that's what made it click for me. And that playthrough was I'm playing this all the way to the end. no matter
Did
how long
you
it takes.
deal with the bovine defense force? Because
Now
I
I'm
think
not
right when we
sure.
started, I showed Kate the bovine defense force, and
If you
that
kill
was
too
what.
many cows in the starting town, a giant chort spawns. It's like level 27,
Oh
and
god.
you die.
See, I didn't kill any cows in the beginning, so
Oh, we
I-
only
'Cause, well,
did it
it
because I
used
knew
to-
it existed.
It used to be a way you could farm for money by selling the leather. Like you could
Oh,
kill
I
the
see.
spawning non-aggressive cows, and CD Projekt Red patched it in so that if you kill too many of them, you get a level 27 fiend that
Yeah.
spawns.
I didn't kill any cows because it's
That
against
and a
my
few
religion.
other-
Its in-game name is the Bovine Defense Force.
Yeah. They actually called that and a couple other grindy methods out in a later added very short quest where the Novigrad tax assessor comes in and, have you done any of these things in the past year? And it's like, you go, nope. Good, you're a taxpayer in good standing.
Okay, that's a good segue. What I want to talk about a little bit is maybe one of the most impressive things about this game to me is Novigrad. That Novigrad is a giant city. It's a capital city. It's I don't really know what to say except for I think it makes you feel like you're in a town in Dungeons and Dragons almost. Like I think it does
Yeah.
it very successfully in making it so that the town feels like alive. People are going places. People have things to say. People are acting the way people act. And there's always, it's like, oh, I want to go over this way. I wonder if something's going on there. And like, yeah, there is. Of course there is.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's I think it's based off of not the capital, but another major Polish city in
Okay.
medieval times. In fact, several of the buildings that are in CD Projekt Red's version of Novigrad still exist today. Like they basically just looked down the street and went, "Yeah, that building. We're taking that in."
Should we keep the changeling? Yeah, put him in there.
Yeah. Oh no, the Changeling has to be in there. That's the
And,
trick about Poland. It's just like The Witcher all the time.
And we were playing with the like the physical printed version of the strategy guide that a friend of ours mailed us because he
Whoa.
was like, "You're gonna need this," and
And I have a
Just to
spare
get, like-
copy, so
so many of the side quests in Novigrad are literally started by just running into, like, someone running into you on the street, or you turning down an alley and interrupting a fight or a lover's rendezvous as it's happening. Like this, it's not like all the NPCs are standing there waiting for people to react.
Right.
yeah.
They're having their own lives
Yeah.
outside
Even
of Geralt.
the ones
and-
where you can, like, they're not an immediate do this one, you get introduced to them by, like, an argument they're having, or, something they're doing in town.
One of
Yeah.
my favorite parts of Novigrad is your friend, Geralt's friend, Dandelion, the bard, ends up there's a side quest chain to help him open his own establishment,
After you
his
break
own
him out of jail.
cabaret. And as the game goes on and you go back to visit, it gets more and more crowded as he does a better business. Like, it evolves.
Yeah. As you progress the plot after doing this side quest, the more quests you do, the better,
Yeah.
appointed, the more people, the better band.
Yeah. And you'll come back and his dialogue will change from like, "Oh, I'm struggling," to, "Yeah, like, business is booming."
Mhm.
I
It's a
really
real
like
city
that,
that's
and
happening.
with Novigrad, I really liked the like Eternal Fire, like anti sorceress.
Oh,
timeline.
yeah.
or quests. I think those were like some of my favorite quests of the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's some. Man, we don't have time to talk about all the stuff in this game.
Yeah.
It would
is
take
so
us
big.
about 176 hours.
Yeah, I will say, like, the on the run that, like, I ended up, like, finishing the game. I think including the Blood and Wine DLC, my total playtime is only about like 80 hours, which I know is like on the short end for most people.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there is a lot of stuff in this game.
But so much of that time for us is because we just got lost. Like, we would just wander, we would see something cool and run over to see what was going on, and like, just, we spent so much time just wandering and just experiencing things.
And
Yeah,
brute
definitely.
forcing ourselves against the level geometry and doing things that CD Projekt Red never intended to happen, but I made happen.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, there were mountain peaks that you were not supposed to be on in Skellige, and I got on them.
For me personally, in like fantasy or like games like that, like one of the big things that that really draws me to games is like really creative monster designs, and I have to say like The Witcher 3 maybe has some of the most creative monsters in like all of video games.
Absolutely.
The first time that Tim and I encountered a Leshen, they're like these big, rangy, Wendigo-ish forest spirits with big antlers. It popped up behind us, and I freaked out and started screaming because I did not expect that such a thing even existed.
Yeah, we were doing something else entirely unrelated, and we, while underground, wandered into its aggro range, so that when we got out of the cave we were in, it popped up beside us.
Ooh, jump scare.
Yeah.
Kyle, do you have any favorite monsters you want to shout out?
Well, I mean, I kind of like just I think it was the Griffin right in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Your first boss, yeah.
And I think that's like the first moment where I was like, "Ooh, wow, this game is like, this is fantastic. This this monster looks amazing." And I think that was probably, since that was the first moment where I like really was impressed by the game. The Griffin sort of just stuck with me from there.
Yeah. I personally I loved the hags and in the Crookback Bog.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
They were terrifying. Like they are some of the scariest creatures I have ever seen. Honestly.
They were a nice take on the Mother, the Maiden, the Crone, and they're all horrible beasties.
Oh yes.
The Weavess, the Brewess, and
Wispess.
Wispess, yes. I always forget Wispess.
Yes.
One of them has bees in her eye. I hate that one.
I hate that. Her face is
That's
bees.
Wispess.
Her
entire face is made of bees.
Yep. She also intentionally, visibly glitches into different positions without actually moving between them. It's super unsettling on purpose, and I love it.
Also, their music theme is like one of my favorite themes in the whole game.
Oh man.
Yes.
Like also, again, man, so many shout outs to this game. Like music. I would say I would pretty squarely place The Witcher 3 in like probably my top 10 game soundtracks of all time somewhere. I genuinely
I've been sold on it. I have been sold on it. I didn't actually like it super much at first, but I have now listened to like different arrangements and stuff of all the different tracks, and I am so sold.
It is such an interesting way because they do take a lot of elements of Polish folk music and even polka music and like modernize it, make it guttural and gritty in different ways, and like it's really cool how much they were dedicated to keeping that feeling of like medieval Poland in the music.
I will say that none of the songs in the game is my favorite piece of Witcher related music, but that's just because the songs in the show are so catchy.
Yeah.
I need to get Joey Beatty for Witcher 4. Anyways,
yes.
Though now that you've mentioned polka, my brain is now going, okay, let's do a Weird Al Witcher parody.
I would love that. I guarantee he has to have played this game.
Yeah.
I want him to be old. He can be maybe like old Geralt or something with the hair.
Yes.
Could be funny.
Yeah.
Also, I know this is maybe contentious, but like, man, I would give literally any amount of money in the world for Mark Hamill to play Vesemir in season 2 of the Netflix
No,
show.
that's not contentious.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good.
He would be a better Luke as Vesemir than he was in the new trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay.
He wasn't no. I'm saying he was wasted. Like they barely used him.
I will say that the
definitely agree with
casting,
that.
like, no matter what you think of the Netflix show, the casting is on point. I mean, they found someone who actually plays a lute to play Dandelion. Like he's doing his own lute playing.
Yeah.
And his own cake baking.
All right. So I think we've covered a lot of stuff here. Like, does anyone have like maybe like a more like personal moment they had with this game that like really has stuck with them like after playing it? They want to share?
Yeah, I'll just say personally. So I'm actually adopted, and getting to see, and I mean, it's not the only game that does that, but the way it portrays an adoptive parent and child relationship as so real and so genuine, and
that's great.
So much actually family.
Both of her parents.
Yeah.
And Geralt with Vesemir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a big it does found family right.
It does. It's very heavy on that theme, and I think it does a great job with it. Oh, that's really nice. Kyle, what about you?
I wouldn't really say it's a personal moment, but I just wanted to just give another shout out to uh, just the whole setting of the game. Like everything looked amazing, everything was beautiful. Like there was, even if I didn't really feel like playing it at all, I could just sort of walk around and just look at stuff for like just hours, and it would be, I would feel good about myself just because of how amazing everything looked.
Yeah. No, that's.
Oh yeah,
that's
even
really
in the
cool.
like the one-off places could never go again. There's so much detail and love. Like all of the places that you go when you're, you know, um, following Mr. Sneaky Elf to the rest of the Elflands, are amazing, and
Yeah.
those you can only see once.
I guess I'm also just gonna do another shout out, man. This, like, I have seen very few games use coloring as well as this game does. Like, the way that they're so dedicated to the different, like, the different vibrant colors they choose to use for everything, and like the warmth and the saturation of the coloring. Like, honestly, it reminds me a little of like Ghost of Tsushima, like why I like it so much. It's just like it's beautiful artwork, like in The Witcher 3. Like, it's just, I love intense coloring. I love extremely bright, vivid coloring in games, and like, man, they like super delivered on that, and that really helps sell me on it, honestly. Um, so I don't think I need to ask if any of you recommend it. I think we all heavily recommend this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
So
I personally recommend if your PC can handle it, get it for PC.
yeah, I agree.
Just because there's a couple of quality of life mods that make things a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Like they don't change the main gameplay mechanics, but they deal with your inventory management a
Yes.
little better, and the no fall mod.
Yes.
Which
Okay.
Yes.
I wanna. We've been too nice to this game. Let me be mean for a minute. Um, we've this. The Witcher 3 has some pretty intense UI problems, I think. Especially with their inventory system. Um, I think it's extremely confusing for new people, and I had to like look up stuff on how to even drink like my potions and stuff, because you can't just like,
Fair.
you can't even drink them from the menu. You have to like equip them, and then like it doesn't even tell you what's equipped to what when you leave the menu, and it's like a lot. I
I
think
think
that could use some improvement.
I
But
think they have actually released some UI improvements because I remember
yeah, you can alter
when
the
we were
HUD now.
playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were playing it, and I think it's the default HUD now. When you're on your sign selection screen,
Mhm.
it will show you the what's equipped to what in your your D-pad selections.
Oh, right. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
One thing I want to recommend, which made this game so much more like gorgeous for me, is that there's a mod on PC that's like for 3D world markers, and it removes the mini map and makes it a completely, there's no HUD on the screen, and all it does is place like actual markers out in the world, like that you walk up to if you need them. So you just like open up the map and you like click on a place, and you can see your objective is like, oh, it's like 300 meters away in that direction, but like it's so totally unintrusive, and it lets you like really observe the beauty of like what they've made there. I always try to play games without a HUD if I possibly can. So that's just me though.
And there is one thing, and this is going to seem super nitpicky, but there was one quest. It's like, I think it's the first quest where you have to fight a werewolf, and it says recommended level 7. I was not able to beat that quest until I was level 20. So I just want to say that for new people, that might not be the quest to go to, even though you might be the level for that quest, because that werewolf regains his health way too fast.
Yeah,
Is that how
sometimes
that
the level
moonlight, dude?
suggestions are wrong. Sometimes they're way too high for what you have to face, and sometimes they are low.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree. I think that could use some work. Also, like, at least it's not like Assassin's Creed where they like literally cap you from like playing it if you're not at that level or whatever. I mean, you can go try
Oh,
it.
you can always
yeah.
try it and fail.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
I like
We
to have the
did
option
several
to try
times.
it, but a lot of the times, if it's too high, you're not going to be able to do it. But
Yeah.
sometimes you can do it, and
Yeah.
you'll feel super accomplished when you do.
Also, if anyone hasn't played The Witcher 3 at all, like, I think the closest thing I can probably draw a resemblance to is the newer Assassin's Creeds, like Origins and Odyssey. That's probably the closest thing, but it looks more like Breath of the Wild with like the open world and stuff. So anyway, it's good. It's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah. If you liked the Witcher-esque Assassin's Creeds,
Yes.
try the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Odds are, if you haven't played The Witcher, you've probably played a game that drew at least some inspiration from The Witcher.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild included. Ghost of Tsushima included.
Yeah, for sure. So I do want to mention quickly that like CD Projekt Red definitely has been in the news for maybe a year now because they have some pretty intense crunch problems and some stuff that I've seen that I would consider like bordering on employee abuse. They directors over there have been like really adamant about people working like 100-hour weeks every week during development and stuff like that, and letting people go who aren't willing to do that. It is kind of a bad situation, I think, but I'm hoping that it's better now that they've taken so much time to work on Cyberpunk. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that like delaying it by 7-8 months like they did until November has let them relax a little, but I'm not sure how that all works in game development.
I mean, a lot of game development has way too much crunch, and
Yeah.
just in general, we should move away from it. It's some amount of crunch is inevitable, and I say that having worked in software development in non-game related. It's just the belly of the beast is, as a deadline approaches, things are going to crop up, but you shouldn't have constant crunch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like
And I'm just not a fan of them releasing games and then having it be this is just an incomplete game and here's some DLC further down the road that actually finishes the main game that they should have released.
Right. I mean, yeah, nobody loves that. I mean, like the main thing I think I noticed with CDPR was one of the directors of The Witcher 3 saying like, hey, like that's what we're about here. We're about sacrificing our lives to make these games, and if you don't want to do that, you shouldn't work here. Which is a little bit like insane to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I also think that there's a lot of pressure put on this specific company because they created what a lot of people consider to be the best game of all time, and they're having to follow it up with something. And I can believe that there's a lot of pressure on them right now.
Especially with the way the hype is for Cyberpunk too.
I just don't know if I've ever seen a game as hyped up as Cyberpunk. And I'm really excited for it. I'm planning to play it day one, and I'm hoping that it's amazing. I am still a little bit iffy on if it will come out this year. Because I think wasn't it just like a week ago they said they weren't happy with how the combat was working?
Yeah, about a week ago, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't even mind if it gets delayed because I want it to be released the right way.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I mean, that's my thought on like Halo Infinite too. Like, I would much rather that game like wait even a year and like release and be like amazing.
Let's just wait so long on Halo Infinite that we can actually create the Spartan power armor and play it ourselves.
Ooh, we'll LARP it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Halo LARP.
Okay, so let's wrap up our discussion on this. Does The Witcher 3 need more or less ghosts?
A lot more.
I think more.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is always more.
It's usually more.
Even if they did more, it would need more.
It's okay. Like I have to say, one of my favorite quests was I think this might have been in Blood and Wine. There was like
Hearts of Stone. I know the exact quest you're thinking of. You got to take a guy to a wedding.
Oh no, that wasn't actually the one I was gonna do. But tell me about that one.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the Hearts of Stone, the main plot line is you have to complete this guy's impossible requests. You have to show a man's brother the time of his life. The problem is his brother died 5 years ago. So
Geralt lets the man's ghost possess him and takes him to a wedding. And this whole scene, the voice actor playing Geralt is doing a totally different voice, and like the sprites, the character model stands differently. He reacts differently. He is a different person.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's
a man talking to himself.
Yeah, that's actually a wonderful one too. You're right. The one I was going to mention, I think, is in Blood and Wine, which is where you go to like a cemetery and there's like a dead, like a long dead like husband and wife that are in this like tomb together and that like hate each other vehemently.
Oh, that
And
one,
both
yes.
of them
yes.
are like arguing that like their family like owns this tomb and like the other one has to leave, even though they've
Yeah.
both been dead for like 1,000 years.
It's my family's
Yes.
tomb, but we paid to
Yeah,
keep
like-
it from the predators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very fun just settling a marital dispute that's been going on for like hundreds of years. And
So the game handles its ghosts very well, but
yes.
could still always use more ghosts.
always just give me more. I mean, like also if the Noon Wraith counts as a ghost, I thought that was so cool, dude.
Oh yeah, New
Oh,
Dude,
definitely.
Remember Gay Ghost Island?
Yes, Gay Ghost Island.
So one of the islands can spawn both a Night Wraith and a Noon Wraith, and if you
Oh,
get
they
it at
can fight.
exactly the right time, no, they don't fight.
Aw.
They just fly around each other, and they'll both fight you. And
So
when
we
were
joked
first,
that they were like two gay wraiths on their honeymoon.
yeah,
That is kind of fun. All right, let's get out of here and move to our next bit here. Time for games. Kate, tomorrow is your birthday, and so
Correct.
we're gonna be doing a birthday bash here. And it's a
Ooh.
literal bash. I've asked everybody to select 3 celebrities / historical figures that share their birthday. And we're gonna kind of throw them into the pit and have them fight and see who's gonna win.
Well, before we start this, speaking of birthdays, can I do a shout out to my fiance?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
today is my fiance's birthday,
Happy birthday,
Ah.
Summer.
and she's
Happy
she's
birthday to
graciously
birthday.
she's graciously allowing me to do this podcast in the middle of her birthday.
That is nice.
But happy birthday, Summer.
Yeah. Aw, that's good. Okay, so let's everyone get your squad together. So let's start with Kate. Who did you bring?
So I've got Madonna,
Okay.
singer. I've got Steve Carell,
Wow.
specifically as Michael Scott from The Office,
Okay.
and I've got Good King Wenceslas from the Christmas song.
Wow.
oh, Wenceslas, yeah,
Wow, that's a good poll. I didn't even think about him.
yeah.
Most people don't tend to think about
Yeah,
Good King
I'm-
Wenceslas. on their
I'm
average
never
day.
thinking about Wenceslas until I'm already there, and then I can't stop. Okay. Did he have a sword? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so. All right, Tim, who have you brought?
Well, I could bring a number. I was going to bring Mohammed, but apparently there's been dispute about whether his birthday is on mine or another one. So instead, I'll go with Dolly Parton,
Oh,
Utada Hikaru, and I think I'll go I could go Edgar Allan Poe, but I think I'm going to go with Robert E. Lee for the combat
wow.
prowess.
Yeah, he's good at combat.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows Dolly Parton.
That's true. I have to say, like, shout out again. I love Dolly Parton. I admire her so much. She's such a smart
She's
woman.
amazing.
Um,
Besides, she can summon Jolene, the destroyer of
that's
worlds.
true.
Utada
Also-
Hikaru would just stand there and distract everyone when you walk away.
Like, yeah, I
And
want
then-
to just say, Utada
Watch
Hikaru,
you up.
I think, is probably best known for doing the Kingdom Hearts song, the like, simple and clean. Like,
Yes.
Is the way that you
Hilariously, though, she has called out. When people are being dickheads in her concerts in America, she's literally gone and pointed at you. Stop that! Don't be a dick, and then gone right back to
Wow.
singing. Yeah,
That's impressive.
She grew up in America, so she's fully
Oh, okay.
fluent in
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Who do you two bring?
Oh yeah, Kyle, who have you got?
Okay, I got Jessica Biel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
All right, so you got the
exactly.
Invisible Woman.
Former Heisman Trophy winner and pro MMA guy, Herschel Walker.
Okay.
Um,
MMA guy is good.
He did 2 whole MMA fights, so
Wow.
Yeah.
he's basically legit.
Yeah.
And obviously the GOAT, Alexander Graham Bell, who can call people to death from the other side of the field.
He can call a friend
Hello
for
from
support.
the other side.
I love the idea of Alexander Graham Bell like inventing a telephone during the battle to make a summon.
How else are you going to fight Jolene?
That's
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I have assembled Daniel Radcliffe, who I think is going to have all his Harry Potter powers, hopefully.
So he's not going to be able to do anything very useful.
Well, he's going to be able to
Oh,
disarm
he's going to be
you
able to ride
guys.
on a broom.
And then I've got Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace,
Okay.
and I've rounded out with Slash, who's gonna play a 6 solo and distract you guys. I've got 2 wizards on my team. Okay, I gotta say, I'm trying to think who has like this. If we're gonna throw all these people into a pit, I'm trying to think who's gonna come out of this alive. I don't know. Like I think I don't know. I feel like for some reason Dolly Parton runs the pit is the problem.
Yeah,
I
I see that.
I feel like she might be doing a medieval times thing.
Welcome to Dolly Land. Get in the pit. Put
Steve,
the lotion on
Steve
and
Carell
spin
as Michael Scott
again.
tries to scream, I surrender! And they're like, you can't just scream that you surrender.
I like you know, like doesn't she run the medieval times and like the pirates thing and all that stuff? Like I think she owns all those things. Like Dolly Parton's battle arena would be like. Okay.
She's done a lot of investing in a lot of cool stuff, and I'm trying to remember what. There was something that was especially amazing, and it eludes me right now, but she was responsible for it. It was it might have been Farscape.
Oh.
I think she was responsible for helping fund Farscape.
That's actually pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna give it to you then, since
Yeah.
you brought Dolly.
Dolly Parton and the Eldritch Abomination Jolene.
All right,
All right.
everyone. Let's head over to the wishing well. Please, everyone, bring out your commemorative Geralt coin, and obviously we're gonna be tossing these to everyone. Please, we're gonna be tossing these to your Witcher, obviously.
Yes!
So.
Oh, Valley of Plenty!
Yes. Everyone, please grab your coin, and we'll go around. And so my thought in this is, and maybe novel's a little bit too restrictive. I was thinking like another, because I know Cyberpunk comes from a tabletop RPG.
It does.
But I was thinking like, okay, let's make a wish for another sort of maybe open world RPG kind of thing, adaptation for CD Projekt Red to do next, of a property that you think they would do a great job with. All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I have been reading a book called Mistborn.
No, that was mine, you ass!
I'm stealing it! I'm stealing it!
Believe it or not, I thought about that and decided that somebody else would.
That's why I wanted to go first.
This is a bad
just 'cause I didn't
question.
want to steal it.
I gotta hold on. I'm gonna look through my books real quickly. Kyle, keep going.
Okay. Well, basically, in Mistborn, they have the ability to use different metals to do different abilities, and I feel like that would translate pretty well to an RPG type of thing.
The whole book is set up like an RPG though. Like
yeah,
everybody
exactly.
has fucking like powers and like, oh, I need to drink this metal, like I'm running low on mana, and I like have to, it's like, oh, I can see the blue sight lines leading me to other metals, and it's like, it's so easy, just do it, just make it.
This would be perfect. Sorry, Nira, for stealing yours.
Okay. Okay.
Alright.
If Tim, what did you bring?
So I've got two. One more traditional, one more out there. The one slightly more traditional is the Wheel of Time series, which is a big, sprawling epic that technically did not complete until after its author was already dead.
Yeah, actually,
and they got Mistborn guy to
completed.
finish it.
Yeah, exactly, completed by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah.
And the other one, which is out there, but I actually think it would make for a very good, like, playable RPG, is the El Hazard universe from the series of the same name. Like, the series was it's an anime from like the mid '90s originally. It's got a very like interesting, colorful, bizarre world that I think would be great to just have people run around in and do dumb stuff.
That does sound fun.
I would like a open world CD Projekt Red RPG based on Stephen King's Dark Tower series.
Good.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Where you could play as a gunslinger and travel around the world repairing the beams that lead to the Dark Tower. I would kill for something like that. Not Geralt. I wouldn't kill Geralt.
No, we don't have to kill Geralt. That's not part of this.
Okay.
He'll always be here.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through my Audible library. I'm panicking a lot. No.
Just wanted to throw a wrench in all of your plans
Yeah.
here.
Pale blue dot. Pale blue dot. No.
What else is in here? No, not the Handmaid's Tale. No.
Oh yeah. I mean, you since we were talking about magic systems, you could cheat and go with Jack Vance's stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Handmaid's
Yeah,
Tale
listen.
open world RPG.
I want the
Do your
Handmaid's
You can't go very
shorts.
far. Your open world is not very open.
No. That's just level 1. It opens up after the tutorial.
Ah, okay. Is that before or after you get stoned?
It's okay. No, listen to me. You escape from one of these compounds, right? And you're just like
Yeah.
fucking on the run, and you also are a ninja, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Alright. Maybe I should prepare multiple things in the future.
It's just 2 votes for Mistborn.
2 votes for Mistborn, 4 votes for the Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's wrap this up. So thank you everybody for joining us today. This has been GameLuster's podcast from GameLuster.com. Please check us out. We've got a lot of cool articles. We do news, features, reviews, all the good stuff, and we got a YouTube channel too. I've got a fun thing coming up where I'm gonna drink a lot of drinks until I figure out what Bioshock 4 is gonna be. So please.
We'll have
please,
the stomach pump on standby.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drinking Bioshock tonics until I reach enlightenment, basically. So, come join us for that. Kyle, do you have anything that you want to plug? Just being alive.
I didn't know I was supposed to plan something for this. Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Kate, Tim, do you guys have any external plugs?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at @DareLetstonTaunts, and don't forget to toss a coin to your Witcher. Oh, Valley of Plenty.
Yes. We also have a series that should be coming out soon called Console Tours.
Oh yeah.
Where-
I've been looking forward to that.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're starting off going through Pokemon's Sinnoh and comparing that to Kate's nostalgia for Hokkaido.
Yes, I actually lived in the Sinnoh region for 2 years, so
Yep, and became the champion.
Wow.
I did.
True facts.
I am.
You beat the
I'm
Elite
the
Four?
champion of Sinnoh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think
I'm
they had
immediately happy that I didn't have anything to plug.
that. Okay. So anyway, Kyle, thanks for joining us as our special guest today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks to Todd Howard for making The Witcher 3. I'm sure. So let's have our winner take us out. Tim, you won the Hall of Fameluster, so please guide us out with your famous catchphrase that you always say.
All right. Well, I'll as always, my last words are somebody else's last words. This from the great philosophical movie Clue. I'm going to go home and sleep.